I realize with all the July 4th celebrations that this story is slowly getting out there, but I think it's important that it's shared, and that's the historic flooding happening up in Kerr County, Texas right now. This county is like right on top of me in Bear County in Texas. I'm in San Antonio, and the impacted areas are along the Guadalupe and Medina River. Currently, I think the death toll is up to 24 people. This is historic flooding. They had like over 13 inches fall in like an hour at one point. I think meteorologists are saying it's the equivalent of a month's worth of rain in just 4 or 5 hours. Currently, also, there were some youth camps located along what is known as Flash Flood Alley. And one in particular, Camp Mystic, had 750 campers on site when this wall of water came through. Out of the 750 girls, 20 are still missing. And unfortunately, it's sounding like these are young girls starting at like age 8 to like 12. I only know this because one of the girls that they had interviewed on the news was talking about how she is, well, her particular cabin was located on what they call Senior Hill, where the older girls stay, and they keep the younger girls down by the riverbank, I guess, in those cabins down there. Now, this camp has been around forever, from what I'm seeing, since like the 1920s. And what they did is a miracle that they got this many girls up that hill between the rushing water with ropes and just helping them with their pure strength get up there to safety. Last I heard, they were still sending helicopter crews out there to pick girls up off the top of that hill. There was also another camp or two along the way. I know there was a boys' camp. One of the counselors, I think they said all of their members were evacuated that were at these Christian getaway groups. But one of them, like, literally had the boys exiting a cabin through the windows to swim to safety. That is how fast that water was rising. From what I'm gathering, news reports, weather reports did not expect this level of overperformance by the storm. This is probably a good reason why they got caught off guard, along with the fact that they don't have any warning systems out there for floods. You heard me right, and there's the quote from the paper. They had no warning. Governor Abbott has already declared a state of emergency to access, disaster funds because of the flood that my city went through back on June 12th, where we lost 13 people to flooding on the northeast side of San Antonio. And from what I'm seeing, this is going to be on par with what we saw happen in the Carolinas last year with Helene. Just pure devastation and tragedy. Some of the stories I've been reading included one gentleman having to take his 94-year-old grandmother, I think a grandchild, and another family member up to their attic, and the water was starting to come through the floor of their attic before it started to recede. They literally were not sure what they were going to do if it kept flooding up into their attic space. Another story I heard, a woman was talking about her and her boyfriend were just hanging on for dear life. Another woman, thankfully her son was like as big as a moose, 19 years old, growing, strapping young man, and she was able to hold on to her son for dear life and not get swept away. I don't think we even know the real numbers of how many people are missing officially. We just happen to know for sure with Camp Mystic because they had an actual head count, 750 girls. These are the different reunification centers, and there's an 800 hotline in this screenshot. So if you're trying to get information about a missing family member that you have not been able to reach yet, call these numbers. Hopefully they can help you get your name on a list to help reunite with your missing family member. As a new resident of San Antonio since April, I have to say that despite however I feel about politics, this is something I don't wish on anybody. I'm a humanist at heart, and I encourage all of you, when they start setting up charities for these cities, we need to chip in as much as possible to help them recover. I will try to post updates as I get more information because I have 2 daughters. I can't imagine.